This is Game Set Match Kentucky, episode 29, recorded on Tuesday, November 15th, 2022, entitled Get Out Your Calendars. Hey everybody, it's time for another episode of Game Set Match Kentucky, where we talk about all things related to the Central Kentucky Tennis Series and most likely a whole lot more that you never asked for. We're recording on Tuesday, November 15th. I'm Chris Godby, the chairman and one of the founders of the CKTS, where the lines are good and sandbagging, we'll leave that to golf. I'm at CKTS headquarters, if you want to call it that, in Russell Springs, Kentucky. Chad Young is back with me from what appears to be his bedroom or perhaps a guest bedroom in Allen County.
It's a combination office / guest bedroom. So it's primarily my office, but if we have company, they get to sleep in my office.
Okay. And a lot of people have a similar setup. They have a home office in the guest bedroom. Are you staying warm out there?
Yeah, I mean, boy, the cold front came through last weekend, and I personally am very much looking forward to it. I did not enjoy 80-degree November days.
No, really? I got a lot of work done outside. I actually put Christmas lights on the roof last week in, before mid-November. I took advantage of that. I like it. Got to clean up the leaves outside, but I understand too, you kind of want the weather to fit the season.
Yeah, I hope my wife doesn't watch this, or she'll realize how I'm underachieving in that area.
Yeah, well, we'll edit all that out. How about that? How was your Halloween, by the way?
It was good. Pretty low key for the most part. I'm trying to think back to what we actually did on Halloween.
I've got sort of an idea of what you did. Let's take a look.
Oh yeah,
there's the man himself right there. And what is that, like a king costume?
I was the king of the court.
Oh, okay, king of the court. Now
we had a Soki Halloween party. That was actually about a week before Halloween that I had that costume on, and then on Halloween itself, we were supposed to do some media for the 1-year anniversary of the indoor facility, and so I was dressed up as it wasn't quite Johnny Mac, because I couldn't find a wig with the brown curly hair, but I had the vintage. I found a vintage jacket and had like the red, white, and blue headband and wristbands and socks. So I carried around a T2000. So I was a vintage late 70s, early 80s tennis player.
That's cool. The Wilson T2000. My mother found a couple of those like at a thrift store one day and bought them for me, and so they're in my racket collection in my basement. And let me ask you a question about this costume while we're taking a look at it. How did you play well that day?
So we just kind of had some games, and that was kind of in a little bit of a drill session, and it was a bit of an adjustment. And then when we had a lot of our events will have like a blind draw tournament, which is just 10-point tiebreakers. And I took the cape off, or the robe. I took the robe off for that. I'm not even sure I had the crown on either. So, once there's competition involved, you got to ditch the costume a little bit.
Well, I was going to say, when you're hitting the ball well and when you're not, and if you're hitting the ball well in that, I'm superstitious enough that I would probably have to start wearing something like that to play in. I don't think there's any rule against it, so why not if you played well?
I think the best thing is a lot of people have probably never watched themselves play. Maybe you've seen pictures of yourself playing, but if you ever watch yourself on video, it is revolutionary.
Oh yeah, I guarantee it.
And even seeing this picture, I mean, as a coach, I'm going to be pretty critical of form, and And I'm pretty pleased with that. I mean, that's not a bad looking sliced backhand, if you ask me.
It's textbook sliced backhand. Yeah.
Eyes on the ball is the most important thing.
And that was a good photo too. Who took that picture?
Carrie Pratt.
Okay, yeah.
Shoots a lot of photos she's on our Soki tennis board. And so she was there taking pictures. Yeah, she does a great job. And I thought this was a great photo.
That is absolutely a photo for the ages. Well, today on this episode of Game Set Match Kentucky, we're going to look back at our awards day from just 2 days ago in Bowling Green, Kentucky. We're going to talk about the new age and rating realignments coming in 2023 for the Central Kentucky Tennis Series. And we're going to preview the 2023 CKTS schedule probably earlier than we ever have before. So we'll do all that in just a minute. First, we'd like to thank our sponsors. Vision Cabinet Source is a kitchen and bath cabinet supplier that ships all over the United States and has for over a decade. Whether you're building a new home or renovating a room in your home, Vision Cabinet Source can provide you with classic cabinet styles that are well built and affordable. You'll also find that they go above and beyond to provide service that exceeds expectations, from answering your initial questions to ensuring that you're happy with the final delivered product. Every Vision cabinet is built upon their promise to deliver well-constructed cabinets made from solid hardwoods, classic, versatile designs that complement your style, affordable options that fit your budget, on-time delivery with shipment within 24 hours, accessible personal service you can count on too. They have many different painted and stained lines of cabinets that stocked right there at their warehouse in Campbellsville, Kentucky. In making these beautiful cabinets, they have a 17-step finishing process that assures top quality craftsmanship. Go online and look at their styles and designs for yourself. You'll agree that they do great work at an affordable price. So check out their website at visioncabinet.com. It's Chad, it's not visioncabinets.com. It's just visioncabinet.com, but you don't want to buy just one cabinet. You want to buy cabinets, but it's just visioncabinet.com. Or you can call them at 270-465-3222. Tell them you heard about Vision Cabinet Source right here on Game Set Match Kentucky. And we're grateful to Vision Cabinet Source for recently renewing their commitment to supporting this podcast.
Game Set Match Kentucky is also brought to you by Family Medical Centers, a community health center with more than 155 locations throughout South Central Kentucky and portion of North Central Kentucky. They've been providing health care to Kentuckians for over 15 years. They provide complete primary care services and also offer pediatrics, OBGYN, oral health services, school-based health centers, behavioral health services, substance use disorder treatment, a pediatric wellness program, a workplace wellness program, a discount pharmacy program, outreach services, local scholarship opportunities, and more. Family Medical Centers has been recognized as a national quality leader by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Check them out on their website at cfmcky.com or on Facebook at facebook.com/Family Medical Centers and on Instagram and Twitter at Cumberland FMC.
This past Sunday, November 13th, was the day of our annual CKTS Awards Day celebration. And for the second year in a row, it was held at the Buchanan Indoor Facility in Bowling Green, where we spent the afternoon enjoying some indoor tennis before we presented awards and gave away some door prizes to attendees. So on your screen, you're seeing a photo, a couple group photos of some of the award winners that were there. I want to thank everyone who came early and hit around with us beforehand, and then stayed for the awards. And we gave away some cool prizes, I thought, and I think everybody had a good time.
Yeah, I hope people know that if you're a winner, you are put into the drawing for the door prizes. And unfortunately, we did have some winners who weren't able to make it. And
yeah.
So several of them had their names called for some pretty good swag, and weren't there to win it. So I know that you guys have had this different places, Campbellsville and whatnot over the years, and I hope people even those who don't win, I hope they would kind of put that maybe on their calendar. It's usually always early November. It's just a great way to come out and celebrate the tour and celebrate the folks who have played in a lot of tournaments. I know you had several who have played in all 8 this year.
Jun Tomioka played all 8, and he commented that he has played now 32 consecutive tournaments, I think. So
I thought it was 3 years, but
was it 3? Okay, 24 then. I'm sorry. He's played 24 in a row then. So wow.
Yeah,
I haven't done that.
It's a great event. I'm guilty. I've only been to the last 2 because they were at the facility that I work at, but
right across the hall from your office, yes.
So, but it really is a good time. I hope folks will make plans to come in the future if they're able.
Yeah, I think maybe we had to put out more chairs before we got started too. So we may have under anticipated how many people were going to be there. So thanks to all the tournament directors and board members that came. And Chad, I'd like to go ahead and book November 12th at the facility for next year. And hopefully there's nothing else going on that causes parking problems, but I guess the more the merrier at the Buchanan facility, right?
I don't know if that's necessarily our mantra. It was interesting with the cheerleading event going on. So we'll maybe look at that date for 2023 and try to make sure we at least avoid that conflict if possible.
Okay. Well, one of the things that happened at the awards ceremony was I made a few announcements about what players can expect next season on the Central Kentucky Tennis Series. And one of those changes that I announced was that in 2023, we have the addition of another youth division in singles. We've added a 14 and under and 16 and under division for both boys and girls. And so we've eliminated the 15 and under division. So we taken the 15 and made 2 divisions out of it, 14 and under and 16 and under. And this keeps us more aligned with what the USTA offers as far as divisions go for their tournaments. And it adds, also an extra youth division so that, we kind of alleviate the crowding of some of the divisions. And sometimes certain divisions, maybe 18 and under, gets full and there ends up being a standby list. We hope that maybe this might alleviate some of that.
Yeah, I mean, it really addresses 2 issues that tournament directors deal with. And one is the confusion in the age divisions. And even if you've noticed on our draws even say, I think, the 16U, don't they? Even though it's 15.
They do say 16U, even though we treat it as 15 and under, but USTA doesn't. And so using their tournament software system, Serve Tennis, we had to, pick the next closest thing, which was 16 and under. And that does confuse some people. So, going forward, that shouldn't be an issue.
And it's a tricky age, in terms of development. 14, 15, 16, 17, a lot can change in terms of, body chemistry, experience. So I'm hopeful that one being more in alignment with the USTA age divisions will be good. And I think it'll hopefully give some people an opportunity to play against some of their peers. And like you said, our 15 and under and 18 and under divisions are usually our biggest of any of the divisions,
right,
in junior. And unfortunately, I've had to do it. I know Karen and E-Town has had to do it. You run into, you get full at 16, and because of the CKTS needing to play, 2 rounds on Saturday, 2 rounds on Sunday, you can't have more than 16 if people are only playing 2 matches a day in that division.
Right.
And so, then we have to get out the entry list and find out who has a tour pass and who's a member, and then who was the first to register. So it's been tough. I've had to do it a couple times, and it's generally been with either 15 and 18 boys or girls. So hopefully this will allow for those draws to spread out a little bit. And because we hate turning people away. We hate when people want to play in our tournaments and can't do so. because the draw didn't make, which happens.
Mm-hmm.
And then in this case, when the draw's full.
So let me just interject and add then that's another benefit of membership. It's another benefit of CKTS membership, particularly a CKTS Tour Pass, which is ridiculously cheap, $99 to play in 8 tournaments, singles and doubles, or 2 singles or 2 doubles. It's sort of like playing in 16 tournaments for $99 a summer. You have top priority as a Tour Pass member to be admitted first. Then, as just a single CKTS member for only $15 a year, that gets you $5 off every time you play singles, $5 off every time you play doubles. So for most players, 1.5 tournaments, that pays for itself, and you get a cool t-shirt. But the Tour Pass and the single member, they get priority entry. So with that in mind, and it pays to enter early. We usually have a 9-day window for registration. Why not go ahead and sign up, early?
You don't have to wait until Tuesday.
No, you do not have to wait till Tuesday at 5:45 p.m. and then you have a computer problem and you can't get your entry in. Go ahead and sign up early. Why wait? Leave yourself some time. We do send out plenty of reminders on social media. And we're going to give you the dates today in just a few minutes. We're going to give you the dates for 2023. So you can't register yet for any of those tournaments, but at least you can put them on your calendar and plan your summer around them. So
put a reminder in there to register early, though.
Oh yeah, sure. We also made some adjustments to our men's C division for adults. It's men's C. We don't have a women's C. We would if we had more women playing singles, but we don't have very many women that play singles. So we have a men's C division, singles and doubles, and we have made a rating change. That's for now 3-0 and below. The B division remains at 3-5 and below for men and women. And the open division is, open. Anyone can play open, but it's geared for, the 4-0s and up. So if you're 4-0, you can't play B or C.
Yeah. And I think when we looked at, again, trying to be a little bit more aligned with what the NTRP ratings say for A, B, C players, we realized that our B was actually including those 3-0 players, whereas our C was really just 2-5 and below. And generally, just a brand new beginner, never played tennis or really any athletic endeavor, puts you at a 2-5. But if you've played for any length of time, you're probably going to be at a 3-0 level pretty quickly. So again, that was we had a lot of 3-0 men playing in the Bs, and our C divisions have been pretty small. So hopefully this as well will maybe spread our divisions out a little bit so we can get some more people and give some more people an opportunity to win.
Absolutely. Well, this is what you've been waiting for. Get out your calendars. Last but not least in the news today is the early release of our 2023 CKTS tournament schedule. Again, I think this is probably the earliest that this has ever been announced. It comes out on the internet sometimes as late as March or April, but we're ready. And I will say this, it can change, but as we know it right now, this is the current lineup. Of course, if it does change, we'll announce it. Yes.
This one wasn't particularly simple. We had to do some maneuvering a little bit to avoid some conflicts. So kudos to you for getting this out early, even and for the discussions we've had over the last month or so to try to get some of those issues addressed so that we can avoid some other events.
Well, let's take a look. And first of all, this is also something that we've never done before. The first tournament will be on Memorial Day weekend. I don't think we've ever had a tournament in May before. It's usually the first or second weekend of June, except for the COVID year when things didn't start until July. But this year, the Barron Classic in Glasgow, Kentucky, will be on May 27th and 28th. Chad, you were going to say something?
Well, the only thing I was going to say is I think my very first tournament, which wasn't an official tournament, I think might have been in May because we were on kind of probationary.
You're right. That was sort of like like an exhibition, like a demo. Like, yeah, okay, yes, you're right.
And some
that
folks
had to have been when? What year was that?
2010.
Okay.
Some folks might wonder about having a tournament on a holiday weekend, but our past history has shown we already have a tournament. The E-Town folks seem to love having their tournament 4th of July weekend. And then Barron County or Glasgow's second tournament the last couple of years has been Labor Day weekend. So
yes.
We're hopeful that people will still be excited, and maybe if we get it out there quickly enough and soon enough, they'll make plans for Memorial Day weekend. So that's the first, and then my tournament here in Bowling Green, the Points for Puppets, which benefits South Central Kentucky kids on the block. That will be June the 10th and 11th.
And still, no matter when that tournament is, it still has the longest name in the history of tournament names, right?
That's probably true.
Okay. So instead of the traditional 2 tournaments in June, we have one. We'll have the Barron Classic 2 weeks later, the Kids on the Block Points for Puppets tournament June 10th and 11th. And then our traditional 4th of July weekend tournament, the State Farm E-Town Open in Elizabethtown. Again, as Chad mentioned, it's on a holiday weekend. It seems to attract bigger crowds than you would expect for a holiday weekend.
Yeah, and just wanted to point out, I don't know if you wanted to mention this or not, but one of the things we tried to avoid is the USTA's adult championships are in June, and they're back-to-back weekends. The 18 and over is the weekend of the 17th, and the 40 and over is the weekend of the 24th. And so we don't want to have events that are going to force people to make a choice. We support the USTA. They've been supportive of the tour as well. So that's why we kind of shifted earlier a little bit, so that people can maybe use the Puppets tournament as a warm up to get ready for the USTA tournaments the next 2 weekends.
Right. You can actually play 4 weekends in a row, bookended by CKTS tournaments with the 18 and over and the adult 40 and over in the middle of that sandwich.
And then after the State Farm E-Town Open, we have the tournament Campbellsville is at the Miller Park Classic.
Miller Park Tennis Classic.
Okay, that'll be the 15th and the 16th.
Founded by the great Larry Milby, but currently operated by Nate McQuarrie. After that, 2 weeks later, on July 29th and 30th, it'll be the Alton Blakely Lake Cumberland Open in Somerset, Kentucky.
Then we have another 2-week break, the first 2 weekends of August, before we have the Gator Open, which is the tournament that is run by Tim Deathridge at Greenwood. That'll be August 19th and the 20th.
Can I just tell you something just between us? Nobody's listening. I really like it when there's 2 weeks open between our tournaments, because it lets me get caught up on some things. Like maybe I'll stay more caught up on the point standings this year than I was the last 2 years. My vow to myself and to the players on the tour going forward is that I will get point standings out faster than Arizona, Nevada, Alaska, and states like that count their votes. I'm going to use them as a model. Don't be like them. So on Labor Day weekend, as we've done for the last several years, the Glasgow Open will take place, operated by a board member and Barron County High tennis coach, Trina Rickard.
And then the final tournament on the tour for next year would be the second E-Town tournament. That'll be September 16th and the 17th.
So that's a look at the 2023 CKTS schedule. If you're watching this or listening to it, you heard it first. I hope that you will make plans accordingly. But once again, things can change. Sometimes we get surprised by that there's going to be court construction at one of these facilities that was unplanned, and then boom, it's going to happen. So that's a good thing. but sometimes it's a bad thing for our schedule, and we have to change things around. Well, speaking of schedules, Chad, why don't you tell us what's coming up for the Southern Kentucky Tennis Association, aka SOKY Tennis?
We've got a couple of big events coming up. Our winter schedule is pretty full in terms of tournaments at the indoor facility. We had a good tournament a couple weeks ago, and we have another tournament for adults and juniors that is coming up the first weekend in December. That will be the Old Stone Open. That's going to be December 3rd and 4th. It's doubles only. There's men's, women's, and mixed doubles for 3-5 and above and 3-5 and below. You can email tennis at Old Stone. That's OLDE -stone, STONE.com to find out more information. And then Tim Deathridge is having a UTR tournament coming up next week. It's on Wednesday, November 23rd. It's the Turkey Tennis Shootout at Greenwood High School. This is for juniors with UTR. There are different divisions for your UTR from advanced level from 6 to 10 to intermediate from 3 to 7, and then 1 to 3 for the A division. So that is UTR tournaments are a little bit different. You're guaranteed 3 matches. It's all done in one day. So obviously the format can be modified a little bit. And then the Buchanan the Hilltopper Classic is going to be indoors, and that is for juniors. And they have the same divisions that we'll have next year. They have 12U, 14U, 16U, and 18U. And that is coming up the second weekend in December. That's December 9th and 10th. And Carrie Lancaster is running that tournament out at Buchanan.
Okay. Well, you can learn more about SOKY Tennis at sokytennis.net or visit their Facebook page at facebook.com/SOKY Tennis.
Also, one other thing.
I'm sorry.
We have junior clinics going on as well. We have adult clinics. We have beginner, intermediate, and advanced drills at the indoor facility. And then we have junior clinics on Fridays for beginner, intermediate, and advanced juniors. Those are at 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock on Fridays. And you can go to sokytennis.net to sign up for those classes as well.
Very cool. Lots of stuff happening over there. You know what I think? I think you need to knock down the back wall and put in 6 more indoor courts. What do you think?
It'd be nice. It'd be nice. We at times we can certainly use it.
Yeah. So if you are having a tennis event that you would like announced and discussed on this program, you can send it to info@gamesetmatchky.com. Well, that's going to just about serve out another episode of Game Set Match Kentucky. I am very grateful to all of you for listening or watching this program. You can subscribe with just about any podcast app on your computer or mobile device. We're on Apple Podcasts, of course, and we're on Spotify, iHeart. We're also now on Amazon Podcast and Audible Podcasts. And we'd love it if in your podcast app on your computer or on your mobile device, give us a short review and give us a 5-star rating. You can also visit GameSetMatchKY.com for all episodes and show notes and more. Please give a like to our Facebook page, which is at GameSetMatchKY, or you can find it on Facebook by searching for Game Set Match Kentucky, the podcast. You can also follow us on Twitter at Game Set Match KY. Chad Young is on Twitter at Chad Young Tennis, and I'm on Twitter at Chris Godby. Thanks again to our sponsors, Vision Cabinet Source and Family Medical Centers. The crowd is hoping, but Hawkeye says we are out. So until next time, and I'm not sure when it's going to be next time, but I know it's going to be sometime after Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you with our Santa hats on.
Again, I'm Chris Godby with Chad Young. Now, that's not a bad idea, Chad. We'll do the next one in Santa hats. I know where I can round up a couple of those. Well, again, thanks a lot. This has been Game Set Match Kentucky.